Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines. DBS Bank plus JP Morgan. Does that equal Ripple plus $4 trillion? Oh, we're going to get into it. And how about settlement for SEC versus Ripple? We got a couple legal analysts that says it's still on the table. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook for exclusive content. Right now, it is $858 billion market cap. The market is up 3.1%. Good afternoon. Bitcoin, 16,400 right now. Ethereum, 1,100 plus. XRP is 37 cents. Let's get started, ladies and gentlemen. Glint, you guys know it's a sponsor. I love them. I was a customer first, as I am with all the products and services that I offer underneath the video. And because it's Black Friday, you can get a special on Ledger. You can get a special on a lot of the things in the description box and comment section. But let me tell you something what's special about Glint. Glint is special because you can spend gold like money. And you can collect your physically allocated gold in your account. And you could also have that master debit card with it to spend it like money. And during this time of inflation, when there's so much uncertainty going around, it is very easy to see why it would be advantageous to have a Glint account and a Glint MasterCard debit card. Don't mess around. Click the link underneath the video. Find out for yourself just how incredible it is. By the way, if you're talking about how great gold is, China is actually stockpiling gold so they can cut back on their greenback dependence. And this is not a surprise, ladies and gentlemen. I know most of you have been listening to me for a while, understand that I firmly believe we are going to live to see a monetary reset. Call me crazy. You know what I mean? I spoke to the home and you're going back. That's what they tell me. But you know what? I firmly believe we're going to see it. And I believe we actually see fiat government dollars around the world, certainly in the G7, G20, go back on a gold standard. I see that actually helping to revalue gold. And then once we see that, I could see something introduced like XRP to serve as a bridge currency in between the FX market for the world. I certainly could see that taking place. We will keep an eye on it. You know how it goes. If I'm wrong, I'll make the video. And I'm not afraid to make the video on it. You know, just my digital perspectives. Look at this right here, however. As expected, Governor Kathy Hochul has signed into law a moratorium on Bitcoin mining in New York. The law is the first of its kind and raises far-reaching questions. This is basically, you know, New York cracking down on Bitcoin mining, and you have to wonder where this all ends and shakes out, ladies and gentlemen. I've talked about the idea, and Chris Larson's mentioned it also, about Bitcoin moving to either renewable sources or proof of stake and doing the work so it can no longer be in the crosshairs of the regulator over its energy consumption. Cardano-powered algorithmic stablecoin called DGED is set to launch early next year on the smart contracts platform's mainnet, according to an announcement developers made at the Cardano Summit in Switzerland. You know what? Shout out to Charles Hoskinson. I've never said anything bad about it. We just disagreed on one thing. Hey, I don't know what his problem is, but you know what? It's his problem, not mine. A substantial amount of assets of Collapse's cryptocurrency exchange FTX have either been stolen or are missing. An attorney for FTX said on Tuesday at its first hearing in the federal bankruptcy court in Delaware. And I tell you, you know, well, we've learned in one report here through the last few days that it was suggested that the hack that happened on FTX after the collapse was Sam Bankman-Fried himself being told to deliver the funds that were left to the Bahamian government. Does it get any more weird than what's going on here? I mean, this is so bad. And obviously, you know, there's that moment where, you know, you see political posturing taking place after moments like this. Never mind the fact that Congress could have passed legislation and stopped all of this from happening. They would rather urge companies like Fidelity to drop their Bitcoin retirement plan after the FTX crash. They never want to talk about the fact that Congress is It's their job to create laws like this so this doesn't happen. But instead, they want to point fingers about you shouldn't be doing that because there's no clarity. Well, you're the one that's supposed to give us clarity. So how about Elizabeth Warren get off her ass and actually do something? That would be nice for a change, wouldn't it? Yeah. And get Tom Emmer and the rest of them with you. You know, get the bill made. You know how we do it. House representative makes the bills, Senate passes laws, right? That's what we need. It's not rocket science. And honestly, this should be a bipartisan effort, but it isn't. And it isn't because you have large donors like FTX. They get overlooked because they gave so much money, right? Singapore-based, listen, let's change gears because this, I believe, is massive news here. I believe that this is going to be very big news at the bottom of all of this. Singapore DBS Bank, the largest lender in Southeast Asia, has said it is the first bank in Asia to complete an intraday repurchase transaction on a blockchain-based network. Now let's get into this a little bit. And this is a different article covering the same thing, but its repurchase transaction was on JPMorgan's blockchain application Onyx Digital Assets, right here. Transaction was completed on JPMorgan's intraday repurchase application. Stay with me here. I want to cover, where is it at here exactly? 1 second, I will find this for us. Here we go, right here. Singapore's largest bank, DBS, completed an intraday repo trade on JP Morgan's Onyx. Repos are a $4 trillion market, and settlements usually take 2 days. By using blockchain technology, it was possible to complete this transaction in just a few hours. Now, just to go back to the article here, fast facts here, DBS is Center of Developments led by City-State Central Bank Monetary Authority of Singapore to explore digital technologies around blockchain. Earlier this month, DBS had said that it was one of the first banks to test the trading of foreign exchange and government securities using permission, decentralized finance liquidity pools on a public blockchain. That is massive. And understanding that it is a $4 trillion market we're talking about here, ladies and gentlemen, I remind you of this. 2019, we saw Piyush Gupta, this gentleman right here. I saw him for myself. I was sitting right in the chair while I watched him speak at Swell 2019. And then there was this as a reminder. DBS Bank of Singapore is using Ripple for trade finance along with SCB. According to an update from Ripple, the bank leads in the implementation of fintech innovations in India. DBS provides customers with almost an entirely digital experience through its mobile-only bank powered by artificial intelligence. The CEO of DBS Bank, Piyush Gupta, recently labeled Ripple as the cheapest solution for making international payments. So, is Ripple involved in this first transaction? I can't say for sure, but I can tell you it is looking pretty awesome. And I want to remind you that Yoshitaka Kitao shared the news that we've covered here on the channel, as SBI CEO shares the latest achievements, which we all know, which is the announcement of 40 payout markets. It's notable because we understand that Yoshitaka Kitao, the CEO of SBI Holdings, is a big deal. I mean, this is not just someone sharing this like a YouTuber like myself, right? This is a guy who is smack dab in the middle of it, sat on the board. Notably, the service provides liquidity for cross-border payments using XRP as a bridge currency. It's not just Ripple. Unlike trade settlement methods, transactions take only seconds. We know the drill. But 40 payout markets is huge. This represents 90% of the Forex markets. Things are getting very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. And as they get interesting, I want to show you this, because is settlement really off the table? Renowned lawyer and crypto enthusiast Bill Morgan, who has been a great legal analyst on this case in this Twitter space, certainly have a great appreciation and respect for Bill. has expressed a view that a settlement agreement between the SEC and Ripple is a real possibility. And we have heard Jeremy Hogan and Bill Morgan and John Deaton discuss this possibility as well. I don't think it's off the table. And they make a good point here. It says Bill Morgan expressed a view the settlement agreement could be a real possibility. It says Ripple's possession of the recordings of William Hinman's speech has given the crypto company real leverage, talking about the email drafts and all the different 68 or whatever it was that are now in the hands of Ripple. In order to leave this data undisclosed, which would not happen when the case is decided in court, the regulator may be inclined to settle, according to Morgan. We can't forget about those Hinman documents, can we? And here's the tweet where he says, not necessarily, he says, if keeping the documents confidential is a term of settlement, that is why having them gives Ripple real leverage in settlement negotiations. I, along with many others, really believe that we are never going to see those Hinman documents. I really do believe that, and I'll be shocked if we do. I was shocked that they turned them over. But again, I do believe that turns out to be leverage as well. So in addition to that, Ripple's reply to the SEC brief on summary judgment motion, which we sent, it was which will be sent to the case judge on November 30th, just 7 days from now, could be one of the most telling documents of the trial. Earlier, another prominent crypto lawyer, XRP enthusiast John Deaton, who we know is representing 76,000 plus of us XRP holders and arguing possible settlement between Ripple and the SEC, estimated its likelihood based on two factors. One was if Library had won the case, but they didn't. The other was getting the Hinman documents turned over. And we've had one of the two happen. So that window is still very much open. And we know Jeremy Hogan told us between September 15th and November 15th, I believe it was an excellent window to see a settlement if there was going to be one. And who knows? Maybe there is one and we don't even know it yet. It doesn't mean that they haven't decided to settle and not announce it to anybody until March. We don't know. We don't know what they've decided and what terms will be, if any at all. But what I do know is that's going to do it for me. Not financial advice for me, just my digital perspectives. Check out all the links underneath the video and comment section. They're great products and services I use each and every day with great specials and deals. Ledger Nano running a Black Friday special right now. You can get incredible deals. Make sure you check it out. I'll catch all of you on the next one.